Hello, welcome to Second Chance Cinema Club, where this week we're going back to our roots.
Oh, yes.
Steff, tell the people, how much Star Wars content have we got this week?
We are bursting at the seams with Star Wars content. It's like being back in the heady Alone in the South Passage days.
Oh, yes. So,
Feel fit to burst, we are.
fit to burst. We're going to be talking about, we're going to do a little review of Star Wars Celebration,
Yes.
which I will openly admit completely passed me by until I saw some social media posts on Saturday. I was like, oh, is that now?
Yeah, I was the same, in fairness.
And we will also be talking predominantly for most of today's show and for the next 4 weeks about Andor Season 2. Because regular listeners to the show will know that one of us, at least, is a little bit of a fan of the original series.
Yes, thank you. I am.
And one of us kind of likes it, passing fancy to it. So we're talking about that. If you're a new listener to us, if you are here to listen to us talk about a movie, you're welcome. You won't hear anything this week. All we're talking about is Andor, Season 2, Episodes 1 to 3, which we'll get into in a bit. There will be spoilers, so if you haven't seen Episodes 1 to 3 yet and you want to avoid the spoilers, please come back later. Or just listen to us and see how much we know about it and how brilliant our insight will be when you get to watch it yourself. And that's about it, really. That's about it.
Any admin?
If you want to give us a rating, please do. Really helps. And a little review, some kind words. That'd be fantastic. And you can also get in contact with us if you please, or if you wish, if you want to talk to us about any of your views on Andor Season 2. You could do it by sending us a text message using the link at the top of the episode description, or you can send us an email using the email address at the bottom of the episode description. And you may see bits and pieces of our content popping up on Instagram as well, which is at Second Chance Cinema Club. Second is 2ND, by the way. If you're at all confused about that, look at the episode description. You'll see our Instagram handle contained at the bottom of that. And that's all the admin. We can now get on with the fun stuff.
Sweet.
Steff, talk to me about Star Wars Celebration. I know you weren't there. But
I wasn't there.
You weren't there, but you know a hell of a lot more about it than I do.
I don't, but I have looked at a website about it, so
Yes.
I'm informed. Yeah, hard to believe 2 years ago was at the London one, 2023. I really don't know where that's time has gone, but that's for another time. Star Wars Celebration this year was in Tokyo, and it looked like a right old affair, like a lot of fun.
Yes.
I saw footage of a C-3PO Phantom Menace era with all these wires showing and everything walking
that.
around.
Good, didn't it?
Looked amazing.
Very impressive. I mean, the person inside that, I must be very slender.
Very skinny person, yeah. Unless it was all just a complete robot that could, kill at any time. No, maybe not. Okay.
No. What are you trying to say about 3PO?
That's a protocol droid.
Is 3PO a robot that can kill at any time?
Oh, he's a dark horse, I think, that one. You've got to watch him. But anyway, through the panels and the various presentations, we did glean some good info.
Yep.
So I'll start with TV stuff.
Yes.
So we learned that the animated series Star Wars Visions is getting a Series 3.
Yes.
Or Season 3, if you will. Apparently that's going back to Japan. That's going to be by Japanese directors again, because the middle series went a bit more worldwide, but it's going back to Japan. And that is going to be on Disney Plus on October the 29th. So watch out for that. Yeah, this year.
That's quite a short time between announcement and I suppose it's animation, isn't it? So
yeah, I mean, you don't know how long they've been beavering away on it, but
beavering for ages. I see actually on that subject? I saw there was a computer game or something that came out this week. Oblivion that got announced and released on the same day.
Yeah, but it's a remake.
Oh, okay.
It's not a new game. It's an upgrade to a 15-year-old game, and I did download it on day one as well. I will admit, because I love that game.
Very good.
But yes, another very, very good for you. Actually, I'm very impressed. You referenced that
on the pulse.
I'm going to say popping lots of pies.
I didn't know the name of the.
No, but you knew enough.
I knew enough.
You knew enough to reference
start a conversation.
You did. Right, what else is going on in Star Wars TV? There is going to be a Season 2 of Light and Magic.
to magic, yes.
The
good.
ILM documentary, which I really enjoyed. I think you watched it as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I really enjoyed it. It was good. I like anything like that behind the scenes stuff. It's always good, isn't it?
Oh, it's brilliant. Yeah, didn't seem to be a firm release date for that, but that'll be hitting Disney Plus soonish. That's gonna cover the digital age era of light and magic.
Okay,
because I think the first series stopped at around the Jurassic Park kind of age, didn't it? Well, just with, as they started tinkering with the CGI stuff. So I believe that's sort of the jumping off point for series 2. There is also going to be a Darth Maul animated series called Shadow Lord. That is coming out next year, so 2026. We've got to wait for that.
That's interesting. Do you reckon that'll be, because he featured a lot in Rebels, didn't he, Darth Maul?
Yes, he did. Yeah, I don't know when or where it's set. I don't have any more info on that.
And in terms of other animated stuff, he also popped up in Tales of the Empire as well, didn't he?
He did.
So we'll see.
Well, you can't get enough of Darth Maul, though, can you?
No, you can't.
You can't get enough. So good to see him back. Ahsoka season 2 has begun shooting this week.
I know. I saw images of Rory McCann.
Yes, Rory McCann of Game of Thrones fame.
Skull.
Yep, it has been recast after the sad passing of Ray Stevenson. I think we might even have mooted him as a potential recasting option at some point. I don't know. We might have called that one. I have to listen back to.
I mean, if anyone wants to listen back to every single one of our episodes to find out if we said that, please do. Please do.
It.
Good God, the downloads would help.
But, I know.
No,
we did suggest some replacements. I think.
I think some of the names that were mooted around the time. So Liev Schreiber was definitely put out there, despite the fact that I think Liev Schreiber, not to knock Ray Stevenson or Rory McCann, I think Liev Schreiber is of a star level above.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I think he'd be a little more expensive,
potentially.
So, but I think Rory McCann. Well, we'll see. The proof will be in the pudding, as always.
It will.
I'm optimistic about it.
Yeah, so good to know that's got into production. So just a mere couple more years probably until we see that. Anakin's definitely going to be in it, apparently, as well. Hayden Christensen popped up to drop that little bomb on us. And then last bit on the TV side of things, a little show that we're going to be talking about later on today. So there was obviously a lot of previews, a lot of hype for Andor season 2. And they confirmed it's going to be released in batches of 3 episodes each week. Ooh. And each of these weekly trilogy of episodes is going to be set in a different year in the lead up to Rogue One.
To the Battle of Yavin.
That's right, yeah. We'll talk about that in a bit, I know for sure. And then briefly, just around movie stuff, and actually a lot of movie stuff was kind of conspicuous by its absence, because I only really talked about 2. So we know we're getting Mando in the Grogu movie. That's now been slated for, I don't know, I didn't write it down, but it's going to be the next one.
That's going to be out at some point.
I'm pretty sure it's next year. But they did show some footage, looked quite interesting. I saw a bit of a hooky, someone's phone recording it off the screen kind of thing. Oh. Thank you, whoever that was, who ignored
who risked being ejected
laws. Yeah,
the Star Wars Celebration.
There was some pretty good footage. There was a bit of Sigourney Weaver's character was in there. There was something to do with Jabba the Hutt's son popping up as well. So a few little exciting.
Jabba the Hutt's son.
Yeah,
imagine birthing a Jabba.
A hut.
The hut.
A Jabba.
Birthing a hut.
Birthing a hut, I know, imagine. Well, luckily we don't have to go through something like that.
No.
But yeah, that looked really good. There was some cool footage of the Mandalorian carving up some baddies in a kind of a John Wick style. I thought was pretty cool looking.
Nice.
But what was brand new was the next film after Mandalorian and Grogu is not going to be any of the previous 3 or 4 that have been talked about previously.
Oh.
Yeah. It's going to be something called Starfighter.
Is this the one with Ryan Gosling?
Yeah, starring Ryan Gosling. That's been confirmed.
I mean,
this is set.
That could be good.
It does look good. All we know so far, though, is it's set after Episode 9, Rise of Skywalker. It's a few years after that. It goes into production this autumn. Tentative release date of May the 28th, 2027. So you've still got a good couple of years to wait for that. And it's going to be a standalone movie. It's not going to be part of a trilogy. It's not a sequel. It's not kind of necessarily tied into any of the other saga movies that we already know about. So
fantastic.
Pretty exciting, the new film. But like I say, the other... Yeah, basically. Yeah, Star Wars Starfighter. But like I said, the other movies are all conspicuous by their absence. I haven't seen anything that mentions any of the other movies that are meant to be. Yeah. The Force, like the Origins of the Force movie. The what was the other one? Oh, the Taika Waititi movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to dig a bit deeper, but it was certainly in terms of headlines, there was nothing mentioned about them.
Maybe. They got a lot out last year, didn't they? Like maybe I don't know.
On Star Wars Day or whatever it was, or Investors Day.
Maybe they're just thinking we've got enough in the works at the moment. Don't need to announce anything else.
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe they're thinking, one series of Andor every 3 years will see him through.
That'll tide them over.
That'll keep people paying the Disney Plus subscription.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And we got 2 movies in the pipeline as well, so cinema is saved.
Yes.
And basically the last thing they confirmed was Celebration for 2027, because it's every 2 years, is going to be back in Los Angeles. So I will see you there.
Right. Perfect.
And that's the roundup of Star Wars Celebration 2025.
Perfect. Did you say it's every 2 years? I thought it was every 2 years it went on the road, and every other year it was in the States. Or is it just every 2 years?
No, it's just every 2 years. But the last 2 times it's toured.
I'm thinking of something else.
You're thinking of the World Cup?
No. That's definitely every 4 years. I'm thinking of what's that?
General elections.
This year was D24 or D25, the Disney one.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Was that where they announced the Grogu? Was that where they announced the
there was a lot of updates at the last one of those.
I think so.
the Disney Investors Day or something like that. It's called.
No, it's not an Investors Day. It's a proper thing. It's like
okay, all right.
It's like a Comic-Con for Disney.
Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, do you? I'm not sure I know what I'm talking about. So
let's go with it.
Let's go.
Shared delusion.
Perfect. Brilliant. I understand as well. So that's Star Wars Celebration. Unfortunately, given the breadth and depth of the universe that we now occupy, we have another death to talk about, sadly, that we've missed by a couple of weeks, but it's still relevant to us.
Yeah, we wanted to mention this because it is it's Star Wars as well. But yeah, sadly, last month, Clive Revill, who's the original voice of the Emperor in The Empire Strikes Back, sadly passed away. I
would imagine the majority of people who've now watched The Empire Strikes Back will probably never have heard his voice.
Yes, which is sad because I really enjoyed it because obviously it's the version we knew before the special editions, and so that was the Emperor's voice,
monkey eyes, and
that's right. Yeah, the woman, an old woman with chimpanzee eyes, was with the visual, but the voice was Clive Revill.
She had a transplant or something.
No, not some weird splicing experiment.
No.
The original voice of the Emperor. Yeah, exactly. He was 94, so a good innings,
a good life.
Yeah. But always sad when one of the OGs of Star Wars is shuffles off the mortal coil. So rest in peace, Clive Revill, and thank you for being a part of our childhood.
Very good. Thank you indeed. Right, to cheerier things.
Yes.
To cheerier things, and we will talk now for the rest of the episode about Andor Season 2, the first 3 episodes. There will be spoilers, so please go away and come back if you don't want to hear spoilers before you watch it.
Yes.
So, we're going to be talking about episodes 1, 2 and 3, which are respectively called 1 Year Later, Sigrona Tima, and Harvest.
Yeah.
Okay, I can tell you at this point, as we speak to you right now, they've been very well received, broadly speaking. They are rated on IMDb in episode order 8.1, 7.9 and 8.9.
Oh, so the middle episode dipped.
Yeah, but 7.9. If 7.9 is your dip, you're doing okay.
You're doing all right.
Things are in good shape. And 8.9, I mean, 8.9 is getting on for like...
That's huge.
Godfather-esque.
Yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong. Let's consider these are very early ratings. It will be people who've watched it early who are really excited to watch it and will have...
Be predisposed maybe to being positive.
Predisposed to get rather excited about it.
Yeah. So, I don't know anyone like that.
No. But also potentially people who will maybe judge it more harshly as well because they love it so much.
Yeah. There's a lot of toxicness, sadly, in our fan base.
Yes.
Toxicity, yes.
Yes, quite. So anyway, right. It's tough to know where to start, really, because as I say, that we got given a lot. Like we're talking about nearly 3 hours of footage.
Yeah, blimey.
And we did get given a lot. Should we just make it easy for ourselves and start at the beginning?
Yes, let's do that.
And go with the introduction to the series, which was the theft of the TIE fighter.
Yes.
What did you think about that?
Just jumping off before that, we got given a little placeholder in terms of what year it is, didn't we?
Yeah. Well, you mentioned it earlier, didn't you? About it's going to be every 3 episodes is 1 year. 1 year further leading up towards the Battle of Yavin. So it's 4 or BBY4.
BBY4, yeah. So anyone who doesn't know, that's before the Battle of Yavin.
Yes.
4 years before, that means. Yeah, so good set the scene there.
Yes.
It tells us we're in CNR Test Facility 73. That's what I wrote down.
Yeah, that's what I wrote down. That's why if I wrote it down, it must be true.
It must be true, exactly.
Never made a mistake like that.
Yeah. I mean, it was great, obviously, seeing Andor straight off. Very first scene, very first shot, he was there. Straight away, you're like, oh, what's going on? He's dressed as an Imperial pilot.
Yes.
What crazy scheme has he got himself wrapped up in now?
What's this crazy cat's been up to this time?
Zany shenanigans
another fine
mess
you've got us into.
Yeah, basically. Great intro, straight in there, straight away with the intrigue and the questions.
Very good. It felt a bit Bond-like. I got vibes of GoldenEye, the start of GoldenEye.
Oh, yeah.
A bit like that. And also the other thing that tied me into GoldenEye a bit as well was when he accidentally reverses it and then just starts shooting the shit out of everything. That is very much like me playing a first-person shooter game. Just like getting attacked from all angles, just going, and then dying.
That's not very Bond-like, though. He's a bit too cool to mess up like that, though, isn't he?
Is what it is.
That's you playing GoldenEye.
Me playing GoldenEye, firing at hitting nothing and then dying.
But actually, that's a good point. And something I was thinking of picking up on is we find out later that he's not actually been trained to fly that ship, which is why he doesn't know what he's doing. So he instinctively pushes forward on the throttle, thinking that's going to send him forwards, and it just careers him backwards. And for me, it's the start of quite a few comical scenes.
Yeah.
Now, unlike you, I haven't rewatched season 1. I did watch the recap, as you suggested. Thank you very much for that.
Quite right.
But I don't recall there being quite as much comedy in season 1 as we've had in these first 3 episodes. So I'm interested to know your
possibly. I think you're right there. I don't think there's nearly as much levity in the first few episodes, the first series, and.
Because I seem to recall him just shooting people in the face in like dark underpasses in the first one.
Yes, very much.
Whereas this, he's like buggering about, doing a bit of a Finn from The Force Awakens.
A bit of a Finn from the Force. Oh yeah, actually, yeah, or Poe.
Poe, yeah, because they steal a TIE fighter, don't they? They try
to steal a TIE fighter and it's still plugged in and stuff.
Yeah, it has had a thing about that.
But I think. I think you're probably right. There's a little bit more levity than perhaps there was in series 1, and I do think, in terms of things that I was a bit unsure about watching these 3 episodes. At times, there wasn't necessarily the same darkness and maturity to it. That we got from series 1, but it was. I got to say, I got over that pretty quickly because I think it got past that fairly quickly. There was the first episode, because obviously he takes the TIE fighter and he lands. He goes to rendezvous with his colleague or his mate, and he finds, which we later learn, the planet he's landed on is Yavin.
Yes, I got that as well. I thought, yeah, I'm glad that's what you thought too. I thought,
No, I thought it's I have had this corroborated. It is true.
Ah, excellent.
So there's the planet he lands on is Yavin, or an underdeveloped Yavin at least. It's not. It's not certainly not a rebel base at this point.
No.
And when he bumps into that group of rebels who are, let's face it, not quite up to standard.
No,
they're
not by a long shot.
A bit of a shit show.
Yeah.
When he meets them, there was a moment where I thought, we're lingering on this lot too much. I'm not enjoying watching them.
Yeah.
I know there's a bit of humour in there and a little bit of demonstrating that not all rebels are created equal.
Yeah.
Sadly they're not all Luthans or Andors or Mon Mothmas. They're like top level, but there is a run, but several runs below them. It lingered on that for a little bit too long, and I was like, I think we need to move on from this a bit now. Yeah, we need to get past it.
It did sort of start getting into the danger zone for a little while, and you thought, this is a long run time. Why are we still here?
Yeah, come on, guys, come on, move along. Yeah.
So, I'm glad you agree that. There's a lighter-hearted note to it.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're trying to make it more accessible. Maybe they're taking.
I don't think so. I think there was enough dark points in there, because I think it does get dark. Yeah. I mean, it deals with some fairly dark issues.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fairly quickly on. I mean,
definitely.
We deal with a lot. There's plenty of murder, sexual assault.
Yeah.
And lots of different issues.
Mother-in-laws.
Dealing with the in-laws. I mean, I mean, that's again, I'm going to get this while we talk about that. Like you say, mother-in-law stuff. I assume you're referring to Dedra meeting, what's his face's mum, Cyril's mother.
Cyril, yeah.
His mother is a nasty piece of work.
She's batshit, isn't she?
I mean, I say nasty piece of work. We don't know what her backstory is. I'm assuming she was mothered in a similar way and just thinks that's how it should be done. But yeah, she's a bit unpleasant and not very kind to her son, and not very kind to her, I don't know, prospective daughter-in-law, I guess.
Yeah. Guessing that's what's going on there.
Hasn't quite reckoned for the person that she's dealing with.
Oh, God, yeah. Wow.
Can you imagine if Dedramira turned up as any sort of in-law? You'd be like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
That's that done.
She's intense.
Yeah, exactly. She's intense. But where they live and all that whole scene in the apartment and getting dressed and all stuff like that. And
yeah.
That and a few other things were a little... I know we've spoken in the past about how we like seeing, like, what we didn't get from the original trilogy was like basic life of people in that galaxy. Like we get a little bit with Luke and his family in the farming industry, but what we don't get is like the day-to-day of people just living their lives.
The admin, the bureaucracy.
Yeah, but also like stuff. At home, got to nip to the shops because we haven't got something or something like that.
Haven't got spiced tea.
Which we get in this. We get in this, but there are a few things like that were just maybe a little bit too close to our world.
Yes.
They just like, I get that. I get what they're doing, and I get how they're trying to show it. Like there was a few other, like the other bit where they showed what I think. I'm trying to think of other times that we may have seen it in Star Wars, but like the infomercial thing they watched that introduced us to the Gorman silk trade or whatever it was.
The spiders.
Yeah, the spiders. I was like, that felt a bit like...
Just like 1950s commercial. Yeah, it's just,
It's very much like... Well, it's very much kind of like, it reminded me of kind of, the propaganda stuff during the Cold War and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Was, I get... I'm not completely against them having a go doing it, but it just felt a bit... I don't know. It didn't feel like it sat right.
It's in danger of not feeling like Star Wars ever so slightly, isn't it? It's like we still want this to be a galaxy far, far away. It's great to ground it in stuff we can relate to and draw parallels of all the stuff that's going on in the world. Absolutely, we expect that.
Yep.
But don't stop us having our little, escapist fantasy for too long.
Quite.
So I think I'm with you on that one.
I agree, and that, I mean, that's but again, these are small. They're not things I hated. Just sort of thought
they're just
a little bit out of
them.
place. Yeah, the fact that you notice that they're out of place, perhaps it just it takes you out of the moment a little bit, or took me out of the moment at least. So no, I don't know. There was that element to it, but how did we get onto that? We were talking about mother-in-laws, and things like that. And
we're talking. Yeah, I mean, I was making a joke about the serious, gritty stuff that is in this.
Quite. Which there is.
Yeah.
But there is also an element of levity.
There's some more, and maybe they just try and balance it up a bit. It's you can't just be layer upon layer of dark, gritty awfulness. There's got to be some levity, some comic relief in there, hasn't there?
Yeah. I mean, don't be wrong. There's
light and shade.
There's been some levity in Star Wars that is best forgotten, and they've done. I think they've done a good job of keeping this the right. So far, they've done a good job of keeping this the right side of the line.
But it's because we want this to be our grown-up Star Wars, isn't it? It's because we're willing to accept that we're old gits, and a lot of Star Wars isn't for us anymore. We're not the target audience. We've said it many times. This we feel like is maybe more for us.
Quite.
So we probably got certain expectations, but it's down to them what story they want to tell at the end of the day. So,
but I think again, what the things we've mentioned, I think for me are again they're small things that were in danger of being lingered upon for too long.
Yes,
but they move past them quickly enough, and once they've moved past them, it's back to here's the gritty realism. If you can have gritty realism in a galaxy far, far away, I don't know. But it's core. I mean, like it's a very good spy drama, basically, isn't it? I mean, you've got They don't sugarcoat any of the realities of that world, which is demonstrated no better than when Luthen and Mon are talking about Tay Colma and the direction that they may have to take that relationship in. Yeah. Which is, it's unpleasant. And we see the effect it has on Mon Mothma as well. I mean, Mon Mothma's basically goes from...
It's just,
it's like, right, I'm getting pissed. I'm going to get pissed and have a dance.
Just has a great Mother of the Bride breakdown, doesn't she?
Yeah,
just
exactly.
like, I'm going to neck a few of these shots, smash some death sticks, and then... glitter around on the dance floor like there's no tomorrow.
What do you think about Perrin, her husband's role in all this? Because I'm starting to wonder whether or not he's got an act of heroism in him. Where
really?
I think he could end up coming good and doing something unexpectedly heroic. Just because I don't know. They kind of their relationship, certainly in the first series. It felt like, it was a divorce waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Whereas they kind of looks like they've learnt to live together, and there's a little bit more clearly it's still very a functional relationship in terms of almost transactional.
Yeah.
But they've, I don't know. There's a warmth there that feels like it's, he cares for her perhaps in a way that he didn't necessarily give off in the first series.
Yeah, I think that's true. He's not a character that really excites me very much. Like I found him quite forgettable in the first series. It's almost like he's a prop for her other activities, and like the foil for her. But so I hope they do something interesting with his character this time, because I think that could be some really interesting story beats there as they play off each other. Maybe he's got different sympathies to her.
Well, they mentioned about the arrival of one of his friends, didn't they?
Yeah.
Governor Tarkin.
Right. Blimey.
I think it's Governor Tarkin anyway.
Did they? Did they say that?
I didn't go back to it. It was Governor Tarkin and his new ship, and he didn't have anywhere to park it. I mean, that's...
is that... Oh, I heard them talking about
I'm sure it said Governor Tarkin.
Ooh, exciting.
It's like, he's your friend. You sort him out.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, that could be very interesting.
Could be.
But it's... Yeah, I'd love to see them do something really good with his character this time, because it felt like, it didn't really do much for me previously.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, I don't think he was supposed to be fair, but he was, as you say, he was there primarily as a prop, but I feel like there's some growth there that can be...
Well, I hope you're right.
I feel like he's going to at some point because I think he's got a better head on his shoulders for certain things than Mon's got.
Right.
And I think at some point he's going to recognise some threats that are coming her way, and he's going to have to intervene.
Yeah.
Or, well, choose whether or not to intervene. But I think he will. I think he'll do the right thing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we will come back to that and revisit your words.
Indeed.
As the season goes on.
Well, and that seems like a good point to take a break. So let's take a quick interlude, and then we'll come back. We'll discuss it more and see where perhaps we think year
more.
3 BBY might go, or BBY 3. I can't remember which way around they do it, but let's find out soon.